Yeah, yeah. What they say? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to the H.G.R.G podcast. Another episode, fellas. We got a special guest today. Be good. How we doing over here? DT, just Jerry. I'm telling you, man, I'm excited for this one. I'm excited. Listen.
Before we even start, you know I gotta ask. Lance, you still with us?
I'm still with us, baby. I'm still here. I said, not only am I still here, I'm bringing people with me now.
He came with you.
Be good.
I got backup today.
Say it again.
Be good. You on the ride? You riding with us?
Of course, I'm here. Let's get it.
Thank
you guys for having me.
It's great. It's gonna be a great day today. Great day today, guys. Let's go.
You already know, DT. You good over there, baby?
Man, I'm amazing. Life is good. Every day's a good day.
I tell you right now, guys. Credit is the key. It opens a lot of doors, and really it can close a lot of doors. And we got a specialist here today. So Be Good specialize in credit repair. Of course, we're gonna go through, ask them the questions that you guys would ask them, so you guys can get the information that you would like to hear. And we definitely gonna go in today. This brother very, 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 very knowledgeable. Knows exactly what he's talking about. He's been doing this for a long time, and it's our gift to you guys to bring a gentleman like this on the platform, so that way you can have this type of insight. Listen, Be Good. Welcome to H.G.R.G, man. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing phenomenal. Like I said, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate the platform. As many chances that I get to educate the people, that's really what my purpose is. So I super appreciate you guys having me so that I can tap into your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously H.G.R.G, we speak about real estate, right? Fellas, we get creative a lot. We have students that we've done creative financing for, where they didn't need their credit, or they didn't need, to have X, Y, and Z, or this amount of dollars in the bank, right? We've done it for them. We've created deals like that. But the best position you can be in is someone that has really good credit. It opens up so many more doors.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Right. And to be real with you, this gentleman here has put a lot of people on his feet, and is currently putting people on their feet to put them in position to win. So I guess my first question to you is, how did we get here? How did you even learn about, credit repair? How did we get here? How did you get started?
And a why, to add to that, and a why.
Absolutely.
So we're being transparent, right? This is the type of show that we on. We're being transparent.
100%.
This is that space.
Okay. I was going to tell you, there's no other way, brother. There's no other way.
Okay, so how I got into credit repair was because obviously I needed my credit repaired. That was the first initial introduction to credit, right? I needed my credit repaired. I didn't even know that there was a such thing as repairing your credit. I was ignorant to it. I thought that once your credit was messed up, you messed up for the next 7 years. That's all I kept hearing. Don't mess your credit up. It's going to take 7 years, right?
Is that true?
I can't.
Is that true? Okay.
It's so not true.
Yeah.
But I got introduced through a good friend of mine. And he was working like behind the scenes. You know how you go to them dealerships? I know we all from New York. You've heard of what is it, Major Auto in Queens? Major Auto is a big dealership, one of the biggest dealerships in New York. And he was the GM.
You talking about Major Auto Land? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So they be on the radio commercial. Yeah. Major. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So he was the GM. So he was the guy like in the background making the deals happen. right? He's the guy saying good credit, bad credit, doesn't matter. We could get it approved, all of that stuff, right?
Guaranteed finance.
So yeah, yep. So although those guys are shady, just to put it out there, you know what I mean? That's low key predatory lending, but we'll get into that. So he was the guy who introduced me to credit, and I was a street dude. You know what I mean? I was in the streets. I was hustling. I didn't really care about credit. I thought cash was king, and it was no purpose for me to have credit at the time. He introduced me to credit in a way that really caught my attention. So what I want people to know is in this world, if you're not like super intelligent, I'm talking like Bezos, like Steve Jobs, like you're not gonna create something that is life changing, like Lance.
Appreciate that.
If you're not super intelligent, then you gotta kind of be loud in this world that we're in, right? And he introduced me to credit speaking my language. I've always been like a flashy type of guy. I've always had nice exotic cars. He pulled up on me in a S550, a brand new S550 Benz. And I'm like looking at him like, what is this? Like, all of a sudden you went from, he had like a Kia Forte or something, and now you got a Benz. So you're speaking my language. You got my attention. I'm like, what's going on? He's like, this is the credit thing I've been telling you about. So I'm like, nah, hold on. I need parts. So I started learning just from my own interests. And then once I realized the way my mind works, I'm a businessman. So once I realized that this thing actually does work as far as repairing of the credit, off top, my mind says, all right, how many people are we trying to do this for? Right? How many people are we going to sell this service to? They weren't even really thinking on that level. When I say they, it was me and a couple of my other partners of mine. They weren't on that type of time. But I'm like, nah, this is a business. Like, y'all not really understanding that this is really a business that we can take to the next level. They had the idea of, yeah, we could repair people's credit, but I think they were thinking small. I'm like, nah, we need to get in front of new eyes every single day. So I locked in with the partner of mine who I met actually through the friend, and he was doing the work in the beginning. He was the one doing all of the credit repair. He was pretty much essentially my back office. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to middleman the hell out of this thing. Like, I don't need to learn how to repair credit. I know that I can get on this internet and I can convey a message. I can break things down. You teach me something one time, I can regurgitate it. You know what I mean? So I'm like, you know what? I'll be the face. I'll be the face of the situation. And to say the least, man, our first 6 months, we definitely did six figures in the first 6 months. I did that by way of influencer marketing. I said, you know what, let me go out, get some money, dump it into rebranding myself. I went and got an S550 coupe. I upgraded my rags, and I did it all for the purpose of the persona that I was giving off on Instagram. And when I say we did six figures in 6 months, that's all off Instagram. That wasn't off of like, word of mouth, or
there was no other avenue.
There was no other avenue.
Okay.
And that was through one influencer. The one influencer had about 180,000 followers at the time. And I met him through a good connection, and I just kept money in his pocket. And I realized, get your product or your service in front of new eyes every day. He already has the know, like, and trust that you need when it comes down to marketing. And when I tell you, it wasn't hard, because we had a service that we were charging $1,200 minimum for. And you just do the math. You get 100 clients, sure. You make 120,000. So we cleared that pretty easy.
How long you been doing this, B?
7 years now.
7 years.
7 years. I like to say over half a decade, because it sounds better.
Okay, so you had bad credit. right? That's how you were introduced to it, and you realize that you were with a group of people that go, listen, you know what? I see what you guys are doing. I'm starting to learn the intricacies of it, right? I might be able to middleman this. I don't need to know it all yet, right? But then eventually, do you learn every step of the game?
Yes.
Tell me more about that. How does that come about?
So let me backtrack a little bit and answer Jerry's question as to the why, right? So in the beginning, it was all selfish. Like, it was all selfish. I'm just trying to change my life. I didn't care about people. I'm not gonna come up here and be like, oh yeah, I did it for the people, man, because I wanted, no. I cared about getting fly. I cared about making money, and it wasn't really for the people, if I'm being all the way transparent with you guys. It was just about changing my life from what I was doing, which was hustling, to really something legit. And I was still looking at it as a hustle. I didn't look at it like a business. I was just like, yo, this is a crazy hustle. I know so many people who need their credit repaired. Let me just get to the bag, You
saw opportunity.
I saw opportunity and I took it, right? Eventually, once I started getting all of the testimonials, right, of people who's like, yo, this thing is real. You helped me get a car. You helped get a repo off of my credit report. You helped get a bankruptcy off me. I helped my father get a bankruptcy off of him so he could get his next house. When I started seeing all of the, like, the hype around it, the result, that's when I started to change my mindset. And it hit me like, wait, I'm changing people's lives. Hold on. This is kind of fire. Yeah. Like, I didn't realize it in the beginning. I'm like, yeah, give me your money. Come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying? Right. And once people really started giving me their real, I'm talking about, like, people have cried to me on the phone. Like, they've cried, like, literally. And that's when I started realizing, all right, hold on. This is bigger than what I thought it was about. This is real. This is, like, tangible.
And B, how does that feel? How does that feel?
I've never been, so my whole life, I've been a hustler or an entrepreneur, if you would call it, but I've never done it in a way where I actually felt proud of myself. It just became, it came second nature to me. Interesting story. I know I told you guys off of the air, but I'll give it to the people. I started my journey of being an entrepreneur at the age of 16 years old, right? And that came to me by way of music, right? I was into music, and I created this mixtape back in the day. Mixtapes was lit, right? And we sold it for $3. We sold 3,000 copies for $3 a pop. I'm 16 years old, and I saw what $9,000 looked like, right? And I actually paid my people who were helping me sell the CD, right? I'm in high school. And at that point, I said, I'm never working for anyone ever in life, ever. So I had the hustler's mentality. I had the boss mentality, right? But I didn't have the direction. So this was the first time in life that I ever felt proud of myself. Like, you can accomplish some things and it's like a monetary gain and you feel good, you know what I mean? But have you ever changed anyone's life? I've never changed anyone's life before this, to be honest. And maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit, but not in such an impactful way.
And this magnitude, this magnitude.
Right, not of this magnitude. So, to say how does it make me feel?
Or at least not this intentional.
Say it again.
I said, or at least not this intentional.
Not this intentional. Like, I've had influence, on people around me, but it wasn't, I didn't change your life. I didn't put you in a house. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like,
it's life-changing stuff you're doing. Yeah. Sure.
Right. So to answer the question, it made me feel amazing. first time in my life that I think my mom has been like proud of me for real. You know what I mean? Like really proud of me. And just proud of myself, man. It's a sense of, you know,
So
actually like a sense of.
So that became your why. That feeling, that moment right there became what your now why is.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
fire.
much.
That's fire.
Not to be,
All right,
be-
so to take another step back. So I understand that what you're doing now and what brought you along is that, you know, this is life changing for other people. You know, it gives you that sense of accomplishment. You know, it was bigger than you, and you learned that along the way. But you say you were middlemaning.
Yes.
Right. I want to know when it clicked and you went, you know what? I need to learn the whole package. I need to learn everything, the whole back end.
So that's a very good question. So middlemaning.
Don't toot his horn. Don't do it. Don't do it.
B, this is what I do.
Yes, he has good questions. He has a good question. So middleman, and that's a really good question because people, I know I gave you the front end of it, but here's the back end of it. You are the face of the brand, right? So when things go wrong, guess who they're looking at, right?
You, yeah.
They're looking at you, and they don't have a clue that you're not even touching their file. We did like 1,000 clients, and I never touched one person's profile. So when it's not always going to go right, that's just business, right? Every deal is not going to be to every person's liking. You know, the time frame, people have unrealistic expectations. So I realized that the person that I was working with, I think I was bringing him too much work than what he can handle. Right. So we had an understanding.
That's a good and bad situation.
It's a horrible situation.
It's terrible. Horrible, but it's a good situation to have.
No, it's not.
Nah, it's terrible.
I'm gonna tell you why, Jerry.
Tell me what you have the clients.
Yes.
Yeah, but when you're not ready, when your business is not established where you can absorb that growth, it can cripple you.
This was my first business, guys. So I'm learning on the fly.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You understand what I mean? We're at a place where I've created this lifestyle for myself where I low-key can't say no to the money, to the new clients that's coming in, but my fulfillment center is lacking. You understand what I'm saying? I'm getting used to 10 clients coming in, and the fulfillment is not there. So slowly but surely, it's going to compound on itself, and it's going to end very bad.
Right.
So I realized that the person that I was working with, who I put all my faith in and still love him to this day, is my guy. I think that I overloaded him with too much work, and he's the type of guy that's not gonna say that.
No. Never say no.
He never says no. He's the type of guy that's gonna, and I've asked him many a times, is this too much for you?
Yeah.
Is this too much for you? And nah, man, come on now. We got this.
Yeah.
So with credit repair, you have to understand that it's not just, so when you get your money, right? It's beautiful. You get your money, but this is an ongoing thing. So the service is ongoing. You don't just get paid and then everything is done and it's fixed. No, next month you got to follow up with that client. Next month you got to follow up. You got to send out more challenge letters. And the work kind of like never stops until that client is completed. Their profile is completed. So now if I'm bringing in a certain amount of clients every month, it's just compounding on itself the amount of work that you have to do. And if you're not business savvy and responsible enough to say, listen, I need help. Let me go and hire a virtual assistant. Let me go and hire. If you're not on that type of time, then you can't possibly succeed. So just to answer your question, Lance, I don't mean to be long-winded. I realized that I have to learn this, right, for myself. And not just that, but the solution to that problem is bringing your offer, so duplicating yourself, right? And how do you duplicate yourself? In this space, I'm going to teach you how to repair your credit. When I first came into this, the knowledge of credit repair is something that you want to hold on to. Like, you don't want to tell anybody because that's your value. That's all your worth. If I tell you how to do it, then you don't need me anymore. And I was looking at it all wrong. I don't want you to need me. I want to give you this game, and not only do you have the information, but I relieve myself of a burden.
That's fire.
Of your profile.
That's fire.
Right.
Within make somewhat.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm still gonna make somewhat around the same money, but I'm packaging this up where you can have me unlimited access to me through by way of a curriculum. If that makes sense.
Right, of course.
What I was going to say is that that's exactly from its origin, and unfortunately, I have to give a lot of credit to Lance. Lance was a huge component in literally just making it like hands off, right? Whatever we're going to create has to be plug and play, hands off. You know what I mean?
Right.
We're going to give somebody a system, and it was beneficial for both sides. Beneficial for us because once we give it to them, they got everything they need, right? And then for the consumer, once they got it, there's no hook. Like, we're not baiting you to do more, spend more, buy more. It's yours. You own it, and you don't own a portion of it. You own the whole thing, and it's literally like step by step. We hold your hand physically, but literally we also hold your hand in the curriculum. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So that was like a big component of H.G.R.G from its origin, and I appreciate that. Kudos to that guy down there, but it was definitely a huge part of what we do.
Disrespecting me on my platform,
and also we give you the team, so it's yours and the team. Mm-hmm. The team is so important because the team is what we use, and that team is A grade in our field, in our market. Yeah. So we're not giving you B, C, D, or we're not giving you Google guys. We're giving you people that we deal with that know us on the name basis. You're talking to Just Jerry. Oh, all right, Just Jerry gave you my number. I got you. That is core. So because a lot of people don't do that.
To equate that to your scenario would be like you having a back office, right? So whenever your client comes to you, you got to go to your back office, and then you got to relay that information to your client. You know, with us, we don't have a back office. Our back office is our team, and we give our clients their access. Like, I'm sure that's probably similar to what you're doing now. You're not saying that, hey, let me talk to my back office and I'll get back to you. I'm giving you
it's
everything direct. There is no direct. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And that's the key. You know, because listen, I've been down the YouTube rabbit hole many times. And you know, when I was trying to find myself and discover what I'm gonna do next, you know, I'd watch these YouTubers and they'd have me interested. And I mean, like, they got me. Right. And I'm like this, and I'm like this, and I'm like this, and they're like,
and you've invested.
I'm like, whoa, who do you use? I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gave me information and I get it, but I want to know who you use. I mean, I want your sources because it worked for you. You're telling me that this worked for you. Just why can't I have what you have?
Right.
And then we got together and said, listen, that makes 100% sense. Why not give them what we have? It doesn't make any sense not to, right? And then obviously that's something on your role that you learned as well. Like, hey, listen, I can't, you know, how can I sustain this? What happens when it becomes 100,000 people?
Yeah,
you know? And Be Good is just the place to be at because of the reputation. You know, what happens when it gets to those, you know, astronomical numbers? You know, you need to have that in place. And if you can give them the knowledge, like you said, they can hold it here.
100%.
Right? So you go, okay, I need to do this. Okay, 4B. This tells me this. Okay, I need to. All right, here we go. Oh, here's the number. Okay, well, here's what I need to say. Oh, here's the dialogue. Okay, here's what I need to say when I call these people. Well, here's the letter I need to submit. Or here's the person I need to speak to. I mean, it's just, and then you put it in their hands because it's on you to put in the work. You know, once Be Good gives you the blueprint, it's up to you to move forward and make sure you're right.
Yes, sir.
Right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
No, that's absolutely fair to say.
I love the fact that you were able, what it sounds like to me, which I'm going through that in another business venture that I have, that you were able to scale yourself by using less people in that scale, but more people around the scale, if that makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's more,
100%.
it's kind of automated. It becomes automated. It has to be, right? Because when many people or things are involved, it gets to where it was before. So I love the fact that you were able to elevate and scale yourself in a way where it became, work smarter, not harder. For layman's terms.
That is, yeah, no, that is that's my model. You gotta understand this whole model, that like the whole business started off just from me understanding what my attributes were, but also what my what my faults were, right? So I understood that I was lazy. Like, I'm lazy by nature. You know what I mean? And people will stray away from saying that about themselves.
You want the raw on H.G.R.G? Here it is. Here it is. I'm not sure if he's ever said that before.
You know why? You know why I'm laughing? It's hard. It's hard to tell, brother.
No. But here's the thing, right? Eventually, you get into, and thanks for the compliment, but eventually you get into a space where laziness is almost like not an option. But the way it started out was me saying, they're going to do all the work and I'm going to do the easiest thing possible, which is just spread the message, spread the word. I can get on Instagram and talk and, post on somebody else's page and they book with me, lock them in. That's easy. The hard part was the actual work that needed to be done, right? So I came into it with a mentality of, I don't want to do any work. I've always been like that. Like, how can I make money without doing work? I don't even like the word work. You know what I mean? So seriously, like the way my mind works is like, listen, bro, I'm in a wheelchair. So physical labor isn't even a question for me. Like, I'm not doing anything physical. And even when it comes down to like non-physical work, I want to do the least amount of work possible, So I realized that about myself. I said, you know what, you're lazy. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but how can we be lazy and still make money? That's what I said.
Listen, I respect it. I got to respect that. So listen, so with that being said, you saying that, you could see your faults, and one of those were being lazy, but yet you still want to make money. You
Right.
still got the hustle mentality, right? You find this business venture that you could see that was going to work. Figured out how to scale it, middleman it, right, and then realize that, okay, wait, hold on, the back office thing is not really working. I'm bringing in too much volume, so now I got to figure out a different way. So you adjust. You give the people the information, to hold close. So that way they know how to maneuver. You say, listen, I'm gonna give you the knowledge.
Yep.
Knowledge is power. Let me give it to you, so that way you guys can do what you have to do. And I'm here now. Now, when you do that, are you still available to these people?
Every Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning.
So they can just call you. I mean, how's that work?
We're on Zoom. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. How's that work, and how do you provide that information?
So we're on Zoom every Saturday at 11 o'clock in the morning, without fail. And that is pretty much, I give you 2 hours of my time. This is a Q&A session. You can ask me anything, credit, right? Once you're into the Skip the Line program, you get access to me every Saturday without fail. And we have the recordings inside of the dashboard of the program. So if you miss a Q&A, you can go back, watch it, and you're probably going to get a question answered without ever even needing to ask it. So I said to myself, okay, not only are you getting this 10-week program with all of these recordings, when I say I break things down, like I'm talking about, I break it down like I'm speaking to a 6th grader or to a 5th grader.
The best way to do it.
That's the best way to do it, right? So you get this 10-week program, but then if you happen to get stuck, if there's something that I didn't cover, you get me every Saturday at 11 o'clock. And I promise
that's
you, religiously, like without fail, I don't miss it. So, and the thing is, in the course, you're not just getting recordings. You're getting recordings. You're getting cheat sheets. Getting like spreadsheets that have already been mapped out for you. You're getting access to plug and play challenge letters. What I mean by plug and play is all you're doing is putting your information to the according challenge letter, and the system is generating a letter for you specifically with your name, address, everything on it. You're getting everything. It took me 2 years to build this program out, and it's to me the best program I've seen. Like when it pertains to credit.
That's fire. That's fire.
Gotcha.
When did you get to a point on this this rebirth, if you will, right? Of your new business model? Because I know obviously fixing credit is what you've done, it's what you do, but I feel like this model of what you're doing is like you're obviously your newest, latest, and greatest, right? When did you get to the point where you work on the business instead of in the business, or are you even at that point yet?
I'm not at that point yet, and that's a great question. So I'm still working in my
Lance,
business.
you're not the only one.
It wasn't as good as my it wasn't as good as my question though.
It wasn't as good as my
question. Don't let me stop. Don't let me
no, but I'm not at the point where I'm out of my business yet. Like where I still have to work and on my business. Okay. Right, because I'm still an intricate part of every piece of the puzzle. Like, I have a marketing team, but I'm still every day locked in with them. Right, I can't set it and forget it just yet. That's the only time when you're literally out of your business, when you can replace yourself. Where I'm not even doing the Q&As anymore. Yeah. Right. I have someone who I've trained and they know everything that I know, and I can literally just be doing something else. So I'm still in my business, but the part where I said, you know what, I'm going to transition is when I moved to Atlanta, and I started really, really taking a big interest into mentorship and getting mentored, right? Paid over $200,000 in different programs, just learning how this internet digital product space works. Right. And everyone told me, like, yeah, you got to duplicate yourself. You're working too hard. That was like the commonality between everything that I've gotten from all my mentors. You're working too hard. Package it up and put it out there.
I don't mean to stop you. Ladies and gentlemen, he spent $200,000 to put that together, and he just gave you that for free. That's a gem. So take it and run with it. I apologize. I don't mean to cut you off on that. But when we give gems, we got to really go and really point that out to people, right? You spent almost $250,000, and the common denominator, the common theme, what you heard was duplicate yourself.
And I also want to touch on. He said $200,000 on education.
Yeah.
It's self-education, guys. We're not saying go to school. We're not saying you have to go to college. It's the right education to get to the next level. Educated himself with $200,000. That's where it's at. That's where it's at.
Jerry, you know what's crazy? So, I say that and I say it casually. I don't even think nothing of it. But when y'all kind of like expound on it, I need to really let the people know. First of all, the way our mind works, right? We always ask first, like, how much is something, right? We always ask, like, I get that question all the time. And
that dollar amount.
That's the wrong question. That's the wrong question. Your question should be, what's my return on investment? Like, what is my return on investment? My mentor taught me that.
Yeah, that's right? I was gonna comment and say that's a mentality shift though. That's not natural. That's not natural for us, our people.
I was like that.
That's not natural.
First question, how much?
Yeah.
How much? Yeah. And I was the guy that, like, before you could even get into your spiel, before I know when I'm being worked over, I know when I'm being pitched to, like, I'm like, listen, I'm gonna let you go, but how much is it?
Right.
And my mentor had to stop me from doing that, because that's the wrong question, and you're showing your ignorance when you say that. You're off top.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, finish that thought.
No, you're showing your ignorance off top when you lead with how much is something, right? So the right question is, what's my return on investment? What am I going to get out of this, right? Once I learned to stop asking how much, the prices that I was paying for things begin to scale. But not only did it begin to scale, my business mind and my abilities and value started to grow with it. So now a $10,000 mentorship is like, all right, yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. You know growth is coming. Right.
Right.
And the reality is, you could ask me right now, how much, how much for H.G.R.G? $1. You want it? And the next question is, well, what is it? What am I getting? You see what I'm saying? So you say it's got to be reversed.
Right.
You got to know what you're getting. Because that's where the real value is. I could tell you $1.
Right.
What does it matter if I give you nothing? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the reverse, and I love that you're saying that, because that's got to be the mind, the shift, like DT was saying. That's got to be the mind shift.
Absolutely.
Where it's, what's your return on investment? What am I getting out of this?
Right. I would go ahead. My bad, Lance.
Yeah, no, go ahead, DT.
I was gonna say I would have to say that I feel like culturally, I think like the world is taking a shift that this is the wave. This is the new university, right? This is in I would say for people like me, of me to me through me, where I come from, to be able to be mentored by somebody who speaks, like you said in the beginning of the conversation, you said, I spoke to this gentleman, he broke down credit in my language. Right. So for me to be able to rub elbows with people, and for whatever reason they relate to me because I relate to them, or I say it to them in a way where they understand it, but their teacher or their university teacher or their professor or whatever doesn't say it that same way. We're saying the same thing, but just in a different, this is the new way. College, a community college costs $3,500 a semester, $4,000 a semester. You're talking $7,000-8,000 a semester. You're 1 year in community college. You walk out of it, you're working at McDonald's. No disrespect to people who work at McDonald's, but it does nothing for your resume. Right. And you spent a whole year, 9 months of schooling, hours and hours of writing papers that probably you're never, ever going to utilize those tools ever in life.
Absolutely.
You take that same $7,000-8,000, throw a couple more dollars on top of that, depending on the program and the mentorship, for a 4, 5, 6, 10-week program, and you could change your life. One time. You could change your life and your generation. You could change your family's life. You could change your kids' life off of one time of you investing in yourself. The problem with our culture is like there's always that nah. Like if BGOODE walks up to me, or I'm sorry, we see each other wherever, and you're like, yo, tell me this game, you got this new, and I'm like, damn, that sounds like something. But nah, he's trying to get over on me. There's something. Nah, it's got to be a catch. Our people don't just take our people at face value sometimes. The brothers that do that self education, like invest in themselves and get that education to have something to offer. I suffer from it. Lance, Jerry, we all, I'm sure you do too, BGOODE, where you try to, like I said, this H.G.R.G got started because we gave this away for free. Nobody listened. We bottled it up, put it in a package, and we put a price tag on it. Now it's like, oh, wow, what's that? It's the same thing I told you for free. Right. But now it has a title. Now there's an LLC or the partnership attached to it. So, it's culturally, it bothers me. And I'm sure I would like to get your opinion on that, because me and Lance, Jerry talk about this all the time. Does that affect you? Did that affect you? And does it motivate you? What does it do for you to know that, where you come from and who you are as a human being, and what you've done for people, the effects that you've already had on people? And then also the times where you speak to people or you try to sell it to them, or not necessarily sell it, but offer it, I would say, and they either reject or decline it. Like, how does that make you feel when you know that person would probably benefit from this situation better than most, but they just, like you said earlier, ignorantly or just like apprehensive because maybe you're be good and you're not you're not
right.
Grant Cardone.
Right. So the way I describe this is I always break this down, like for my mentees, right? When they're just getting started in something, right? And I tell them, this is the example that I use every single time. Imagine today you started, you started like dentist school, right? No one knows about it. You're in your own world. You're going to dentist school. You're learning all the ins and outs of being an orthodontist. Like, right, you're like tapped in, but no one knows about it. Like your family, your friends, no one knows about it. This is just something that you want to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
And next year, you say, guys, I'm a dentist, right? And you're proud of yourself. You're like, yo, you don't even understand. I went through, I got my license, it's lit. I'm a dentist. You're in for a letdown if you think that your cousin is gonna let you fix his teeth.
For sure.
You're in for a letdown if you think that your friend is gonna let you fix his teeth.
That's fire.
I didn't see that coming. I give it to you.
Fire.
I didn't see it as the
That's
example.
fire.
Okay.
You feel me?
I don't want you to repeat the whole situation again, but I'm sure we're gonna chop that up. That's fire right there. If you didn't hear that, replay that. Listen to that twice.
You're in for a letdown because I don't know Lance as a dentist. I know Lance as cousin Lance, or my brother Lance, or my son Lance. I don't know him as being a dentist, right? So it's no way that I'm letting him fix my teeth. I'm going to my dentist, who I've been going to for years, who I know him. The way I met him was he was a dentist.
Yeah.
Right? So we have to understand that people are never going to just get it like this. It's about consistency. It's about other people who met Lance as a dentist coming in and giving their testimonial, seeing the results of people's teeth that he's fixed. Then your cousin is going to be like, yo, Lance, you really a dentist?
Wow.
And you're going to be like, I've been telling you since my prices were low. Like now I'm lit. And you're realizing through other people that I'm a dentist, and we have to stop being offended by that.
I gotta ask this question: When did you realize that? Because we realized this
early.
We realized this early, but we also realized this early. When did you realize that? Because that is not, when we talk business with other people, they really believe their family members are going to buy the product they're going to have.
So I realized that in my first couple of months of doing business, I'm excited. You know what I mean? I got my credit fixed. It's lit. Like, this really works. I'm telling everybody, bro. I'm like, yo, like, and I'm like, it's just $1,200.
Please.
And they're like, yeah, you was just hustling.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
Yeah.
You a credit repair? Like, what? No. Get out of here, bro. Like, this your new hustle? All right, that's what's up. It was like that. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, okay. I got some work to do. You understand? Like, I have some showing proof to
that right there is big. That mentality, because instead of harboring feelings or feeling like they owe you something, or feeling like because you're my family, you should be loyal to me. Now I should be the family dentist because I just got out of dentist. I'm an orthodontist now, so I should be, everybody I know is orthodontist. But because you didn't have that mentality, you looked at it like, oh, you just don't know. So that means that I
don't know.
I gotta work harder so that I don't say it. You hear it from somebody else. And then when you do find out, I'm not gonna harbor feelings because I'm like, now you get it.
Now you get it. That
Right.
mean that's a moment
Yeah.
for me that's like, all right, I'll put that work in.
That's huge.
You know what I mean?
That's
And the best way that we could really think about things, right, is always put yourself in somebody else's shoes. Always say, all right, don't take it personal.
I
You know
live
what I'm
life
saying?
like
Like, don't
that.
take it personal. Yeah, like put yourself in their shoes and say, would you let Lance, like, would you let someone fix your teeth?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they just told
I
you that
just told you, yeah.
yeah, like I'm not doing that either. So okay, cool. Now it's time. It's a challenge. Go put that work in, and and show the results.
It's called receipts, man.
Yeah, it's 7 years later, and I just I'm talking about like people that I know are just now like, yo, you really repair credit, bro. Like you
Tap it in now.
7 years, bro.
Wow.
And I'm like, and I don't take it any type of way.
Yeah.
And just to go back to your question, DT, you have to understand that when it comes down to like, how does that make me feel? Like, when I see my people not taking advantage of it, because I'm so embedded in marketing now, I start to look at people as a demographic, right? I start to look at people as, are you my avatar? Are you my ideal client? If you don't fit into this space, then you're going over to the cold lead section. That's it. It's literally
fair enough.
Yeah, that's the way my mind works now. It's not, I don't feel no type of way. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. So I mean, listen, this is all great. But I know people are watching, and I know there's somebody out there right now going, all right, be good. I got a bankruptcy. I got a 530 credit. I go and I go rock with you and get what I need from you. What does this look like for me? What's the time span look like for me? Is this hard? Can anybody do it? Am I gonna need additional help, or can I grab this program, do it for myself, and be on my feet in 365 days, or what does it look like? I mean, I know everyone's situation is different, right? But if you really hone in on it and focus, what is some of the time spans look like for somebody that maybe has a bankruptcy and a five something credit score, 550, 540.
Right. All right. So first thing I want to say is this, right? We have to stop putting so much weight on credit scores. Like we have to, like, that's
Tell me more.
Number one thing that I preach.
That's crazy, B, because you just told me it's very important, and then
it's not about the score.
Talk to me.
I'm telling you right now.
It's about the history.
So it's about the report. It's about the content of the report. So let me just give you two scenarios. When I first got into this, I was sold a dream. And I promise you, because I was focused on the score, I was able to be sold a bridge in Brooklyn. Like, I was focused on the score because I thought that's what would matter. So what I mean,
I'm sure most people do. Be good. Not to cut you off, I think most people do think that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. But let me just give you the facts.
100%.
So the people that I was rocking with got me to a 793 credit score. 793 credit score.
That's a nice number.
That meant nothing.
What?
Okay. Let me break this down real quick, because I know you're about to really go in. 793 out of what's the highest possible credit score?
850.
850, ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
That's the highest score that you can have, right?
793 is damn near perfect.
You give me a 793, I'll get you whatever you want right now.
I'm about to tell you.
Based on your net income.
There's no tier above a 750. So once you have a 750, you're excellent.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Anything else is just cherries on top. Like
you could do no better. Yeah.
So tell me how you take away from that now.
793 meant nothing.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you why. There's something called an authorized user that you can add on your credit profile. For those who don't know what an authorized user is, all it is piggybacking off of someone else's credit card, not their credit card, right? So if I have a 10-year-old credit card that has perfect history, no late payments, low utilization, and a good limit, if I put Lance on my credit card, that history on that credit card will report to your credit. Lance, that's called piggybacking.
That's what we did. Absolutely.
Right. So that's
Lance is a cash guy. I'm the credit guy.
Right.
To get into business, we had to have someone to credit. Let's use him. Let's put him on my as a user. His credit goes up.
100%.
I'm sorry to cut you off.
No. It's cool because I love when you know what I mean. You're just basically stamping that what I'm saying is correct, right? So that's cool. If I don't have any credit, like let's just say I don't have any credit, I've never had a credit card or anything, right? That means I have a blank profile. When you go to pull up your credit score, it's going to say NA, right? Now, if I add one trade line, one authorized user trade line onto that credit report, I can very well possibly get a 700 credit score. If I add 4 of those authorized user trade lines, I'll have an 800 credit score. Let's be clear. The reason why it meant nothing is because it's not heavily weighted. I don't have any actual primary accounts of my own. The banks, every lender can see that these are authorized user trade lines. They can see that. So yes, they help when added onto a profile that has already been built up by the person themselves. Correct. That means that you have to have some type of primary accounts. You should have a mixture of credit.
So you're saying they have to have some kind of history as well?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I was walking around with a 793 credit score with my chest puffed out, thinking that I'm lit, and getting denied for the simplest credit card.
And not because and the sole fact is because nothing was really yours.
Nothing was really mine.
He walking to the bank like, yo, I got this. Walking outside.
Yeah, 793.
Walking outside.
How much of a loan do you need? I need everything you got in the bank.
793.
Walking outside with his head down. Go ahead, bro.
100%. So I learned fast that it's not about the score. Okay. And then in reverse, you could take someone with a 680 credit score and get them more than a person with a 793. Like literally in that particular scenario. Okay. What I want to stress upon people is that it's really the content of the credit report that matters. Okay. And what I just said just now was a mixture of credit. So what you have to understand is that the definition of credit is the ability to pay over time, right? The ability to pay over time. So would you lend someone who doesn't have any track record of paying something back in their life? You're going to say
not more than I would if I could find someone that does have a track record. Sure.
Right. You understand what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, you're going to say no, right? So the more times that you've showcased that you have the ability to pay something back, the more trust you get in this space, right? So what I mean by a mixture of credit is they want to see revolving credit, and all revolving credit is when you have like a credit card or a line of credit, and every time you pay that money back, like let's say you spend some money, every time you pay the money back, it goes back to you. Think about it like a revolving door. It goes back to you, right? And that's specifically on credit cards and lines of credit. For people who don't know what lines of credit are, that's when the bank will give you a lump sum of money, put it into this specific account, but it acts as almost like a credit card because every time you pay the money back, it goes back to you. It goes back to that bank account. Now, you also need installment credit. Installment is just how it sounds. The bank lends you some money, you get all of this cash up front, and every time you pay something back, every time you make that payment every month, it goes back to the bank. You're paying on an installment loan. You understand? So they want to see multiple versions of these things. They want to see credit cards. They want to see personal loans. They want to see a mortgage. They want to see an auto loan, right? They want to see these things so that you can have a nice rounded picture of who you are in the credit world. If you only have credit cards, it's going to be hard for you to go and purchase or finance something of good value, right? If you only have credit cards. is going to be more difficult. They're going to want you to put some money down. They're going to want you, they want you to have some skin in the game.
Right.
Okay.
We speak
But
about that
more,
H.G.R.G, skin in the game, ROI. I'm telling you guys, it's a universal language in these areas for sure.
Absolutely. So the more that you have established credit, the longer history that you have of not missing payments and all of that type of stuff, the more you qualify for your next round of whatever it is that you're looking to get.
Got you. So let me ask you this though. I have a bankruptcy. Let's say I do have something well-rounded, but life happened.
Mm-hmm.
Came across, I've never really messed up. I got this bankruptcy though.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You're obviously the guy to go see.
Yes.
But how long does that take? It's going to take me a couple years to get back in position. So, what does that look like?
Yeah. So let me. I just wanted to start off by.
Let me add that too. And is bankruptcy as harsh as it used to be? So go ahead.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
If you have a bankruptcy on your credit report, it's a big, big red flag.
Got it.
Like it's like the worst red flag you could have.
Got it. Okay.
So I just wanted to break down like what credit what your profile should look like.
For sure.
Now, in the event that you have negatives on your credit report, let's just start with the bankruptcy. You absolutely can remove a bankruptcy, but you just got to know how. It's like going to court and trying to represent yourself, right? No disrespect. You might have some sense about you, but you're going to get chewed alive if you're across from an actual lawyer.
Right.
So in the credit space, we're protected by something called the Fair Credit Reporting Act, right? And that protects us as consumers against bureaus that don't have our best interests at heart. Okay. Now, when it pertains to any type of collection accounts on your credit report, most of the time, these people that are reporting on your credit report have done something wrong that you just don't know about. Most of the time, right? They've either gotten your records from illegitimate ways. You don't realize that you can suppress a lot of your information. People think about TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, and that's the only thing they know about because that's what they hear about. But there are like 30 other secondary bureaus that we don't know about. LexisNexis, SageStream, Innovis, right? Those are some popular ones. Opt out. You have to suppress your information because that's where most of the bureaus are going to validate the debt or validate the collection. They're getting your information from secondary bureaus. But if no one tells you that, you would never know, let me suppress this information. Another thing that we sleep on is personal identifiers. On your credit report, there are personal identifiers about you that you would never think to remove off of your credit report. So if DT used to live in Queens, right, and you used to work for Con Edison and you were married to Felicia, I know that's a ratchet ass name, but
bye, Felicia.
Right? But all of that stuff is on your personal identifiers in your credit report. So you don't want to be associated with the Queen's address. You don't want to be associated with Con Edison. You don't want to be associated with Felicia. Why? Because when they can tie you to those old addresses, old names, old employers, those names and things are tied to the debt. So we want to remove anything that isn't up to date and accurate on our credit report. We want to remove that because it's like a chess match. We're going up against the bureaus, right? And they're going to use everything that they could possibly use against us. Imagine that lawyer who has to go and get that evidence on you. They're digging into your life. We need to make that as hard as possible for them. Then once we do that, once we suppress the secondary bureaus, once we remove the personal identifiers, right, then we have to know how to challenge. I tell people all the time, there's a difference between disputing and challenge, and we never dispute online. Let me explain why. when it comes down to disputing online, just like I told you, there's a Fair Credit Reporting Act. The Fair Credit Reporting Act is for us as consumers, but it also has to make it fair for the bureaus as well. So when they started allowing people to dispute online, they understood that because so much volume is coming in from people who could just click a button now and dispute, they understood that the bureaus can't keep up with this. By law, the bureaus are supposed to be able to report back to you within 30 days, right? Whenever you put a dispute in, they're supposed to report back to you within 30 days. If you got 1 million people a day sending in a dispute through a button on the computer, how could we possibly keep up with that?
Yeah, you just can't.
So you just can't, right? So now they put certain things in play for the bureaus to be able to keep up with this. This is where algorithms and AI comes into play. Now, when you dispute online, you're getting a 3-digit code that says, oh yeah, this is valid. And all they have to do is go and pull up your credit report. And if it's on your credit report, it literally comes back as valid. That's not fair to me, right? So now the only way that you get the respect that you deserve is by physically mailing in a letter, right? That explains your case, and you demand for them to do a full investigation. You demand for them to report back to you in 30 days. Your report has to show how you've derived to your decision, and it has to be in layman's terms. When you don't dispute with a physical letter, you waive all of your rights to that stuff. You waive all of your rights. Now,
message.
I'm dropping gems on y'all.
I was just about to say.
So here's the other part, right? So you give me my investigation, everything is what it is, right? Some people may say, oh, well, it comes back verified. That's okay. What we're doing is we're not thinking, I want people to think outside of the box. Stop worrying about the dispute or what's in your face. You have to think outside of the box. What we do with line skippers is we do something called the overwhelming effect. And we have to think about it like this. Every company that you know, excluding non-for-profit companies, is a for-profit company. So these bureaus, they get paid every time they report something on your credit report. Every time, right? So you have to think about it like this. If I'm sending in a challenge every single month, right? And I need a physical person to be assigned to my case, that means you have to pay that person to do the investigation. You have to pay that person the man hours to give me my results back in 30 days. You have to pay someone. It's not a computer. It's not an algorithm where this is just automated. Now it starts to cost you money versus you making money reporting that same negative account on you. It starts to cost you money. As a simple business decision, what is this one account compared to all of these accounts that we're reporting every month? I'm going to remove that because I don't want my business to pay to report something, or I don't want to get charged more than I'm making. It's just a business decision at this point.
Correct.
Be good preaching, right? He letting you know for real how it works. You know, there's a lot of game right here. There's a lot of game.
Question for you.
Yes.
You got. I think you when we were talking off air, not just you, but I've heard other people say the same thing. Hey, let me help you fix your credit. I can get you $5 personal, $10 business. We can do this way, that way, right? So you got the person that's listening, that's watching, that says, my credit isn't terrible. Excuse me, it's decent. I have a business, maybe I bought a house or whatever. I have some type of business, and I'm like 650, 630. I got a car loan, I got a mortgage. How I've heard people say they can give me 20,000 personal and 40,000 business.
Right.
What does that mean? What is that? Is that real? And why should somebody utilize that? Like, what's the benefits of anybody taking advantage of that service, or should they not?
No, they absolutely should, and I'm gonna break it down. So we have to understand that when we use our debit card, we get nothing. We get nothing in return.
Be good.
We get nothing in return, guys. Like, let's be clear. You use your debit card, you get paid twice a month. That money goes into an account. You're not getting anything for that money being in that account. And then you spend it because we're naturally consumers, right? We have to, our cost of living, just gas, groceries, rent, car notes, school, kids' tuition, whatever, right? We're spending money constantly, but we're getting nothing for return, and in return for our investment, right? We're getting nothing in return. When you take the debit card and do away with it and replace it with a credit card, what you're doing is now you're understanding that I'm going to get paid for whatever I spend, and it comes in the terms of points on a credit card.
Yep.
So now, if you're a big spender, right, what happens is if you're working the system the right way, you could actually get your car note paid for free off of points. You can actually travel for free off of points. You can get your rent paid for free off of points. You're spending the money anyway.
Now you're talking Lance language.
You understand what I'm saying? You're spending the money anyway. Every single day you're spending money. So if you're not utilizing credit, you're doing yourself a disservice. That's number one when it comes down to the personal side. For business, you have to understand that every time you walk out of your house, everything that you see around you physically with your own eyes is being it's ran by business credit. Let's just put it like that, right? It's some type of credit involved. So every house that you see, every car that you see, every building that you see, every structure is some type of credit into that situation. And all that is America telling us that this is how you get along in this country. This is the game that you play in this country. Now, if you're a business owner and you're looking to compete on a real level, you can't compete if you don't understand the game that you're playing already.
Right.
I always ask people, I'll say, listen, take the money that you have in your bank account right now, and if you had to use that for your business, how far could your business go? Real talk.
Down the block.
You understand what I'm saying? Especially when it comes down to if I'm in competition with other people who are getting fronted hundreds of thousands of dollars.
That's right.
Could I even keep up with your marketing if I had to use my own money?
Absolutely.
If somebody had to choose between the campaign that they keep seeing versus the campaign that they just saw one time and never saw it again, who's gonna get the business?
Yeah, of course, the repetitive one they keep seeing.
The repetitive. So you have to have a budget when it comes down to business, and it's not just marketing. You got to understand, marketing is major. I also explain this to my mentees. Right now, I'm running ads, right, through Facebook. I'm running ads on my credit card. I get paid to get paid.
That's right.
Like literally.
Yep. Not to cut you off, I know somebody that does their Christmas shopping from their points all year.
Yes.
Then they cash the points in, they go Christmas shopping. That's how they buy.
I just paid for my whole family vacation, airfare, hotel, everything on points, and then I booked another trip, and then off of the trip that I booked another trip free because of that trip.
You feel me? So it's you got to understand why we're even able to do that. The banks and these credit banks are in competition with each other. They're literally trying to steal your money from the traditional bank and bring your money over to the credit side. So they're going to incentivize you. They're going to say, oh, why are you using that debit card? Here, come get these points. Spend your money with us. And not only just spend your money with us, but we'll front you money.
So
what banks are doing that?
Let me ask you this. for someone that's out of college or out of high school, 18 years old, 19 years old, they go, okay, be good. You're talking about building, this credit profile, right? But I have no credit.
Right.
So where can I start? Because I can't go get a credit card that's worth anything right now because I have no credit. So it's almost like that thing everyone says, well, how am I supposed to get this if I ain't got that? And if I ain't got that, how am I supposed to get this?
That's a good question.
So where do you start?
So you start, there's a lot of programs out here that they specialize, especially for like the young person that you just the example that you just gave. Secure credit cards they were designed for college students coming out of college who don't have any credit, right? But I want people to understand what I'm saying. Be careful. If you're 25 and above, getting a secure credit card is almost like a red flag. I want y'all to understand, because it was designed for college students, right? That by the age of 24, 25, they won't need that secure credit card anymore. You getting a secure credit card at 25 is like, what did you do wrong in your life?
Right.
Why are you just now getting a secure? Yeah. Why are you starting over? So be careful. But yes, there are programs where you would go and get secure credit cards. There's a Navy Federal. If you go to Navy Federal right now, it's something called a pledge loan, where you can put $1,000 in the bank, tell them that you want the pledge loan. They'll put a freeze on the $1,000 and return it back to you in the form of a loan. It's your money, but it's almost like a secured loan. This is how you manufactured a line of credit on your credit report. So what you would do is you would take that $1,000 that they give you, and if I were you, I would pay the loan off 90%. I would pay $900 back to the loan, and then I would keep $100 open on the loan so that you'll make minimum payments over time. Remember the
you can age it.
Definition of credit
absolutely.
is the ability to pay over time.
Yep.
So you want to just pay the minimum payment on that $100 for months, for as long as you could drag it out, because now you have an open loan on your credit report that's reporting on time every month. That's one way. There's another company called Level Credit. Level Credit will allow you to report your rent or your mortgage or whatever it is that you're paying every month for lodging, right? For just the thing that you pay every month anyway. You can now get credit for paying that. There's other companies
like your electric bill and stuff like that, right? I've heard about that.
So I'm against the electric bills and the Netflix.
Educate us, man. Educate us.
So I'm gonna tell you why, right? Because we're always looking to put accounts on our credit report that have some type of worth to them. So every time that you put a new trade line on your credit report, the way they judge you is based off of your average, right? And it's average everything. So what's your average credit limit? So if I pay $2,000 a month for rent, right? And I got that reporting on my credit report, and then I go and put $100 bill for my electric on my credit report, that just brought my average down completely. If I go and put a $15 Netflix bill on me, that just brought my average limit down. So when I go to get some credit, they're gonna say, "Oh, no, you only got an average of about, $1,200."
Same thing as history. And you can have a 10-year credit report, a credit card, and then when you open a new one, now
you got
the
5
average.
years. You got 5 years average history.
Absolutely.
So you have to be careful. You have to know the game. You have to understand that all credit is not good credit. I know you're desperate to start building credit and all of that stuff, but do it strategically. So even with the self-lender apps and all of that stuff, if you're going to get a secure credit card, I would tell you to wait until you have a decent amount of money that you want to put on that secure credit card.
Where can somebody go and learn this thing, like the one-on-one, like I want to intricately learn what you're talking about? Where can they go and get that?
Skip the line. Skip the Line is the 10-week program where I break down everything.
And where can they find that?
So, you know
I'm sure we'll put it on the podcast.
Yeah, we'll put it,
it'll show up on the screen or whatever. But if you can plug whatever, like specifically, because some people don't watch this, they listen. You know what I'm saying?
So this is what works for me, and I know it's untraditional. My marketing managers, they would tell me that I'm crazy. I don't want you to believe me. I don't want you to just take my word for it just through this podcast. So I always send people to my Instagram first. Go learn about who I am. And if you like what I'm saying, if you like the consistency, if you think that I'm someone of value, then click the link in my bio. Yeah. Right.
So what's your Instagram so they can
so it's BGOODE Financials, right? BGOODE Financials, FINANCIALS with an S on it. BGOODE Financials. Okay. Go there, get your know, like, and trust up. And then if you feel like I've gained your trust, hit the link in my bio.
And I'll tell you what, from us, go ahead, Lance, and we're gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, no, I know you. Let's say H.G.R.G stands behind them for sure. Always do your due diligence. We love that you guys tune in and that you guys follow us, and of course, our word to you may mean a lot. But like he said, go check out his IG. Learn about him. See if that's somebody you want to move forward with. If you have credit issues, I'm sure that you do consultations. I'm sure they can figure all that out on your IG and how to contact you.
Absolutely.
And move forward, get right. Especially if you are looking to get real estate, whatnot, why not put yourself in the best position? Yeah. And Be Good can help you get into that position, to come over here and really move forward as well.
And those who pay attention to us, who know, like, and trust us, and we stand behind a gentleman like this, that it's easy to pass over. That's why I think this relationship that we have with Be Good is obviously it's natural, and it's just it is what it is. And mind you, this is the elementary stage of it. We haven't even seen where this is going to go. This is new. This is a baby. This is an infant. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, he's giving you a lot of gems.
Can I give him another one?
Absolutely.
Can I give him another one? Because I want the people to really understand that it's first of all, there's a lot of money out here, and these banks, they have to give it out. Y'all. Sometimes we think of it like like it's almost impossible. But these banks have to give the money out in order for them to actually thrive and make money, right? They want to give the money out.
Just like Jerry said before, they invest like we invest.
Yeah, it's not about this anymore. It's not about, I'm black, they don't want to give me. No, it's your profile. That's it. So another gem that I want to give the people is a bank called Fresno First Bank. And they're in California, right? Fresno First is one of the only banks. I rock with them. If you do go ask for a guy named Sergio. Sergio is lit.
He giving out names now. H.G.R.G make it happen, man. He's giving out names now.
So the way Fresno First works is they work with new businesses, like brand new. You could have started your LLC yesterday, right? And they are relationship based. So what that means is if you have a business that's generating income, they want you to bring that income into their bank, right? And you have to get paid via ACH, right? And what they'll do is after 90 days, depending on your monthly deposits, they're going to give you 4 times that amount, up to $100,000 for a new business, okay? And of course, your credit score.
Hold on.
Yeah,
my bad.
Shake that off, DT.
Say that one more time.
So, Fresno's is going to give you 4 times the amount of your deposits that you put in every month in your business.
So if I deposit $100,000 in my account a month.
Say it one more time, DT.
If I deposit,
you broke up.
My bad. Sorry. If I deposit $100K in my account a month,
they'll match that. It's not gonna be. It's up to 100.
It's up to 100K.
Up to 100.
It's up to 100K.
So let's say
But
you got 20,000.
does that mean they're going to give you 4 times 100K?
No.
It'll
The
be 4
max that
times.
you
Until
get
you max it to 100,000.
Okay,
is
got
100,000.
Okay, so
The max that you
25,000 is really the max that I should be
25,000 every
doing.
month.
Right.
Yes, sir. $25,000 into the account every month for 90 days. In 96 days, you're going to qualify for and it's a line of credit. That's the beautiful part about it. It depends on your personal credit, right? Let's be clear. If you're walking in there with a 720 or above, you're going to qualify for the 4 times amount. But if you're walking in there with a 650, you might qualify for 3 times that.
So hold on. So if you walk in there with the 720 personal,
yes,
does that mean this is only relevant for personal accounts?
This is for business.
The business account, but it's based off
your personal guarantor.
Okay, got you. Okay,
yes.
okay.
They need you to be a personal guarantor.
Okay.
Now let me break down how powerful this is. In business, having a line of credit versus a loan is so much. It's this. All right, let me just say this, right? So when you have a loan, when you get a loan, no matter what you spend, let's just take the same $100,000. Right.
That's better than American Express bill.
Right. So when you get a loan, you're gonna have to pay a minimum payment on $100,000.
Starts that month.
No matter how much you spend. You could get $100,000 and you don't even really have the plans yet. You might only spend $10,000.
Yep.
And you still got to pay a minimum payment on $100K.
Sir. Yes, sir.
If you were to get $100,000 in a line of credit, you're only paying a minimum payment on what you spend.
That's right.
Which is huge.
That's right.
And that adds in, if you get a line of credit on February and you use it in March, you start to make the payments in March. No, in April. If you get a loan in February, you're paying in March automatically. No matter
how much you spend.
So that line of credit is key.
What are those loan rates typically at, specifically now, because obviously the market's high, but what is that interest rate typically at right now, roundabouts?
It varies. It varies based off of your credit score and everything like that. But I've seen some at like 7%.
Nothing crazy.
Typical. You know what I mean? If you got decent credit, 7%.
Yeah,
gotta understand they're playing the game. They gotta make their money.
No, it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, I'll take that all day long.
Too, it's a new business.
I know. I'll take that all day long. All day long. Let me get that.
Absolutely.
How seasoned can a business be? Like, let's say you open up a business and you're around for a year and a half.
He said 96 days.
No, you can literally.
That's 96 days of being with the bank. I'm saying, let's say your business is a year and a half old, right?
DT, you not listening, brother? What's up?
No, but he said you don't even, your business don't have to be a day old.
Right. That's one example. But now I'm asking, if there's a business that's seasoned for maybe a year and a half, can they still join the bank and still get those benefits?
Even better. You know how the game goes. It's even better.
So they accept new, but they also accept old as well.
Absolutely.
And you can play the same game.
This is not just for.
Yeah, I'm moving all my stuff over. There's no problem.
Yeah. It's not just for new. Of course, if you got 2 years in business, if you have a year in business, it's even better.
What about 6 years?
6 years, beautiful.
All right. So your point of that was saying it's not just for somebody like us that have been in business already. It is somebody that can receive the same type of benefits, 100%. Right? As long as they're creating some kind of income, via ACH.
Absolutely. And you can manufacture income. I don't want to get too spicy on here.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying.
2 nights in a row, we out here snitching.
Nah, I'm just saying you can manufacture income, guys. I want to put that out there. I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble or anything, but
question for you.
Listen, be good.
Credit card. Credit card.
Say it again.
Credit card. Last question.
Okay.
Small business, big business, doesn't matter. Credit cards that people should be taking advantage of because of their perks.
I would say there's tiers. There's tiers to how you want to go out for credit cards, right? And I'm going to give you an example. don't go for an American Express until you are American Express worthy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Right? American Express has something that they call once in a lifetime offer. Right? And what it is that they'll give you like all of these points, right? For like the first time that you sign up with them, first time that you have a relationship with them, but they'll never give you those points again. So you want to go and get an American Express credit card once you are at tier 4, tier 5 level, where you're coming in to get an American Express Gold card, American Express Platinum card, because that's how you maximize.
And what is tier 4, tier 5? Is that based off of like scores, or is that like income?
Yes, it's based off of history. It's based off of
Your
income.
profile.
It's based off of your profile.
So
they want to see established credit. You don't want to go for an American Express as one of your first credit cards.
Okay.
Say it again.
Score wise, typically, where do you got to be at that tier 4, tier 5 level?
750.
Okay.
You want to go. You want to apply for a credit card with a solid 750, not a fluffed up 750. So you don't want American Express to be one of your first cards that you go for.
As an authorized user, going in there trying to get it. Gotcha.
Right. No, because you're gonna get the bullshit. What is it? Blue Cash, that card. Yeah. You don't want that.
So
you want the black card that DT has.
Nah, I don't got a black card. You got to be invited to black. They ain't get they disrespect.
You got to be invited to black. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. You got to net $500,000 a year.
Right. I thought you had to spend like $1 million a year, right, to get the black card.
Yeah, you got to spend $1 million, and then you got to net, like, as far as income.
Yeah, we on our way. Don't worry about that.
American Express. How did it? We don't report our income to them.
No. You list your income. You list your income.
They ask for that.
Do you have to update it?
You should.
You should.
Absolutely.
I never knew that.
That's how you get the offers. That's how you get the invites.
You dropping jewels for deep.
I never knew that.
It's all good. It's all good.
I never knew that.
But going back to what we were talking about, the reason why
I started a month on Amex.
See, let's get it.
I spent a quarter.
Be good. Keep doing what you're doing.
No, because I pay everything through Amex. Like everything.
This is not about you, DT. You're trying to flex right now.
No, but I'm learning. I'm here learning. I'm trying to hear. Tell me, teach me something, bro.
No, I bought a new Mercedes with my American Express. I don't understand why they don't send me. It's all right.
Nah, I use credit for that. American Express. Let's be clear. American Express, you got to pay that whole bill in 30 days.
Yeah, those are net 30s.
Yeah, you're not carrying that bill. I spent 5,000. I spent 300, 400, 500. No, you spend 25. You owe 25, like in 30 days.
Absolutely. I'm glad you said that, because that's what's considered to be a charge card.
Yeah.
Versus a credit card.
Yeah.
Most people don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Charge cards are net 30 accounts. Whatever you spend, you got to pay it off in 30 days. So be careful with that.
I learned that. I learned that when I was about 21.
Mm-hmm.
So what he's saying about the American Express already, I already blew that a long time ago.
It's all good, but that's why we giving our viewers gems so that they don't make those same mistakes, because everybody wants an American Express and everybody wants to get the relationship started, and that's not necessarily the wave. And if I'm being transparent with you guys, I don't own American Express, not one. And I'm the credit guy.
So what's your top 3 then? If you don't own American, because in my opinion, and I don't know this to be a fact, it's just from my experience and my small knowledge, American Express business wise has been phenomenal for me.
100%.
But 100%. Please, if I'm wrong, I would love to be told different. And then also,
you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But I'm saying is strategically, I have yet to go out for an American Express because I want to get the once in a lifetime bonus offer.
Right.
And I finally do go for an American Express. I want my profile to be so illustrious.
You know how much you're missing out on though?
No, I do.
DC, you really about to argue with the credit guy right now?
No, I would never say it to him.
Argue with the credit guy right now?
The benefits thereof. American Express has been.
Did you see the H.G.R.G podcast where the credit guy and DT went at it about American? Come on.
American Express has been good to me. Has been good.
I get it.
Right. But what he's saying about American Express is that
no. I get what he's saying. I get what he's saying.
At his peak.
Yeah, he
You
wants
see
the
what I'm
20.
And-
He wants the
and-
20 times what he spends. If I spend $1, I get 20 back. He wants that once, because when you
100%.
first get it, they give you the crazy incentive. Yeah, you spend 500, you get 1,300 back. I get it. I understand.
Right.
Right.
Be Good's credit is
But
at
you know how many
829
years
right
go
now.
by and they give you back so much more that you can probably balance that out. That's why I said what I said, not because I'm saying he's not right.
And be good is talking to somebody who's not on your level right now. So he is talking.
We gotta remember that
We're not talking our level. We're talking a little bit lower than that.
Well, you don't know. You know, there's some people that are going to be on our level and above that, and then there's also going to be other people that maybe not that in that place right now. But those
But they may be
had.
there financially. They may be there financially, but when they come to their credit, they're not there. You know what I'm saying?
In the
I'm there
profile.
financially.
Right.
Credit wise, I'm still even building and making the right moves strategically.
Gotcha.
Strategically, that's what it's about.
Gotcha.
And I'm not thirsty, you know what I'm saying, to go out and get the American because it looks good. Everybody got the platinum, gold. It looks good, right? But if you're working on a plan, then you understand what your movements are.
No,
you know what I mean?
1,000%.
I would say Discover is a great credit card. The Chase Inc. card is a great credit card.
Capital One, is that one?
Chase
Capital One
Inc. is dope. I love Chase Inc.
Yeah, Chase Inc. is fire. Chase Inc. is fire. I have Chase Inc. That's the replacement for my American Express. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's yeah. So Capital One is
I have one business that I use Chase Inc. You know, exclusively, and then for the bigger business, I use the American Express.
Okay.
We all got Chase Inc.
Capital One is good because Capital One is one of those companies that will accept you and give you a chance very early.
Right, and that was my first credit card.
Yeah,
so that's why I mentioned Capital One.
Credit One to accept just about anybody. Like you gotta be a real you gotta be really messed up for them not to accept you. Like seriously, like Credit One will accept anybody, but you got to remember with Credit One, I don't recommend it because it's a shitty card.
That was my next question. Okay.
Yeah, it's a shitty card, but if you're strategic about building your credit, building your profile, Credit One will give you a credit card. Navy Federal gives out so much.
Yeah, Navy Federal. We love Navy.
They show love 100%.
1,000%.
Federal was like my first $20,000 credit card.
To establish a Navy, I never did nothing with Navy Federal. I've heard it several times. I just never have even pursued it, never even looked at it. Would love to. You know, I've heard a lot of good things about them. How 2 seconds, because we kept you way longer than we should have.
That's all good. I'm here.
Yeah, DT, you kept them way longer than you should have. I just want to let you know that.
Yo, this is the only.
I was gonna wrap it up 20 minutes ago, but I mean, go ahead, DT.
Only episode that I have not been long-winded.
Consultation for DT.
It's been hard for me. It's been hard for me.
Ladies. Go ahead, G. B.
Whoa.
DT. Go ahead. You was asking a question.
Yeah. So to introduce myself to Navy Federal, how should I do that? What's suggestion wise?
So you could get in one of two ways, right?
I think the best way to say it would be, how can I best utilize Navy Federal and what they have to offer? Let me say that.
Right. First of all, you have to get accepted. That's the first thing, right? And traditionally, they only accept people who are. It was like for the military, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you know someone who already has a Navy Federal account, they can literally sponsor you, like give you a code, and through their affiliation, you can get in.
And that's new.
Number one, yeah.
Right.
That's
only a few years old.
Yeah, a few years old. Yeah. And then number two, you can lie.
And that is the case.
That's the end of the podcast.
That's the end of it. No, seriously.
I thought Lance was gonna say something like that.
No, what happens is when you go to try to apply for a Navy Federal account, they don't check. Like if you say my grandfather was in the military, right? And you give them a name, they do not check. I know this firsthand. They're going to accept you. And with most credit unions, if you like donate to their charity, you'll get accepted. I know DCU is one of those. So
another gem, man. Another gem. Listen,
Be
good.
I got 2 questions before we start. We leave.
That's good.
Listen, we can't let this guy go.
No, that's good.
One question, and I asked that question. First question is, when do you start trying to get credit?
When you say trying to get credit,
or
trying to establish
your credit. Sorry.
Early as possible. So
today.
Yeah, like literally today. So if you're 16 right now, there are some programs that will allow your mother or your father or your uncle to add you as an authorized user on their credit card. That in itself is starting to establish credit. Okay.
Got it.
So you want to try to establish credit as early as possible. Another thing, what I wanted to say is when it pertains to authorized user trade lines, please keep in mind that American Express does not backdate. They don't give you the history of the card. American Express is they'll allow you to become an authorized user, but your history starts that day.
Yes, sir.
It starts that day. It doesn't start 3 years ago, 4 years, whenever the card was established. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking to get on someone's American Express card, just understand that you could be doing yourself a disservice by dropping your history, trying to piggyback off of them.
Right.
Yep.
So that's one thing. Keep that in mind. When it comes down to authorized users, I always tell people it's not about the credit score. Okay, just because someone has good credit or quote unquote bad credit, you only want to pay attention to the credit card. How have they maintained this credit card? Is the utilization low? Is the history long? Is the balance, of the balance low? Is the limit high? Right? How have they maintained this one credit card? Because you could have a 650 credit score, but you've been taking care of this one card that's great. It's in great standing. You can piggyback off of that one card, even if someone has a 650 credit score. Don't let their score deter you from the card.
Getting into
it. And your second question.
Second question is, what is next?
Third, fourth, and fifth.
Say it again.
Third, fourth, and fifth.
DT.
Oh, my bad.
Let this guy speak.
I said say it again, and he said it again.
He said 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. DT's drunk. It's 7, 8, 9.
I thought he said me. He said say it again. I said third, fourth, and fifth.
What is next for B Financial? What is next?
So that's a good question. So I've been teaming up with a lot of people that are in different industries. I'm really about to start pouring into getting this brand outside more, right? Doing more podcasts like this, more interviews. I'm gonna start speaking on stages very soon. I'm really just focused on growing the brand. I have a partnership coming up with two other influencers, and we're going to create like a university where Skip the Line is going to be a curriculum inside of the program, and it's a great program by the way. Yeah, it's a great program because these people, they specialize in Airbnb, they specialize in Turo. I specialize in trucking. So what we're doing is we're taking the credit and we're showing you how to utilize the credit to jump into different industries, right? Because that's obviously what's next when it comes down to your credit. You don't want to just build credit to sit on it. You want to take it and actually leverage it and capitalize off of the credit. So the university is dope because we're going to be bringing in like 50 members at a time. And what we're going to do is we're going to do their funding deal for them for free, get them the capital, and then award them the opportunity to pay for the university with the funding and learn Yeah, it's like a 6-week program. We walk them through everything, and my job is to teach you how to make money every day.
Yes, sir.
BGOODE is the busiest, laziest dude I ever met in my life.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why I said it's hard to tell. Hard to tell.
With that being said, listen, BGOODE, we appreciate you. You know, coming on the platform. Once again, guys, go check out his IG. We'll put it in the description. I'm sure we'll plaster all over this podcast as well for you. Check him out. See what he's talking about. You heard a lot today. He gave you jewels throughout the whole time. You know, held nothing back. And you know, this is a guy that we back here at H.G.R.G. You know, DT, Just Jerry, you guys got anything to say before we close out?
Yeah, I would open up the floor to go ahead, Jerry. My bad.
Now, transparency. He came up with transparency. We know that's what we bring to you on our platform. We talk the good, the ugly, and the real. So continue to subscribe to our channel. Go to every platform, H.G.R.G_club. Please, please, please keep on smashing that like button. And that's what I got for you guys. My fault.
DC.
Obviously, I before we leave, I want to make sure BGOODE has the opportunity to if there was anything else that we didn't
DT,
mention.
I got that, DT. I'm hosting the show.
Oh my
I got
God.
it. Don't worry about it. I know that. Oh, I got it.
So if that's the case, I piggyback off Jerry. Obviously H.G.R.G. BGOODE Financials. Look for us. Stay tuned, because this partnership is going to be a lot more often. We play in 2 different spaces, but they're synonymous. So it only makes sense that we, you know, rub elbows together and we grow together, and we learn a lot from BGOODE. We appreciate BGOODE. You know, I think it's important to not ever feel like you know everything, right? And it's also important to be like, hey man, I don't know that. How do you do that? You know, what does that look like?
Right.
And then, you know, we learn from each other, but I do appreciate.
We always say, D, if we don't know, we get you in the right. We put you in the right position to get to the answers.
That's right. Listen, BGOODE. Take us home, man. Any final words for the people?
Yeah. So what I would tell people is don't count yourself out. A lot of times what happens is we as people, we discount ourselves because we don't know what it is that we bring to the table, right? What our contributions are. So sometimes it's the simplest thing that you're taking for granted that could be your thing, that could be your calling. Anything that you would do for free, 9 times out of 10, you love it, and that is your calling. Okay, so I promise you that. look at GT. That's your calling.
Last, I love it.
Yeah, anything that you would do for free is the thing that you love, and that's your calling. So don't discount it. Like, even if you know, let's just say you're good with kids, right? You're looking at it like, oh yeah, no, that's something I do naturally. But you know how many people don't like to deal with kids?
That's your gift. That's your gift.
That's your gift. So just hone in on the thing that you love, the thing that you do for free naturally, and I promise you, you can turn that into a business. That's what I would leave with.
There it is. Listen, from my mouth to your ears. We'll see you on the next episode. BGOODE. We appreciate you, DTG.
What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined, but